it's a race car, you're going to put race fuel in that race car if you want it to run correctly. So put race fuel in, work out, don't do the right things off the mat, nutrition wise, and we'll see where your weight is at.
Nutrition's huge.
Nutrition is huge.
But my best year at state was the year that I did. Like most years, actually, whatever weight I was at, I usually stayed there, and I never really had to cut weight. But the one year that I did have to make a choice, because I think we had 2 kids, me and this other kid were in the same weight, and I was doing okay. But my dad was kind of the one that was like, maybe you should go down. All you got to do is cut like 2 pounds, and you can get down.
2 pounds.
And so I did it. So I was like, okay. I think this was like my 7th grade year. And so I cut down, and that was my best year I did at state, because I felt like I was bigger and stronger than the rest of the kids that were at the same weight class.
Correct.
So when you talk about, I felt like cutting is way easier than going up. And going up was tough.
Those guys are strong.
I was kind of getting handled a little bit, and I'm like, man, I cut down, and I'm like, these guys are small.
Just from hearing you guys talk about it, I mean, I feel like if a kid, say he is 158 and he wants to wrestle at 160, then that's a decision he needs to make when the season's over and say, you know what, I'm going to bust my butt in the weight room, and I'm going to gain that 4, 6, or 8 pounds of muscle.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then that way, I'm not wrestling a guy smaller than me. Absolutely. I'm really going up to about 165 in gaining muscle.
Yeah.
And then I can cut that down a little, cut down a little fat during the season.
Yeah.
Get down to that 160 and be ready to go.
There's nothing scary, because I've seen it's a different sport, but UFC.
Yeah.
You ever seen those videos of those guys cutting weight? It's terrible.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's like a full week. I mean, I know it's like professional and stuff. But that's why we don't ask anybody.
That's why we don't ask high school kids to do that.
Dude, it's awful. Like
it's dangerous.
They're in hotel rooms, feigning and stuff. And I'm like,
it's super dangerous. I remember even back when I was in high school, we didn't know everything we did now about nutrition and everything, and so guys would run around with the trash bag, run stairs for hours.
I did the trash bag thing.
And it's like, hey. To cut that weight.
Yeah.
Now
there's state rules now against that.
Yeah.
The guys have an alpha weigh-in at the beginning of the season. They have to be hydrated for that alpha weigh-in, and we look at the hydration tests, which is them peeing in a cup. We check it and make sure they're hydrated. They weigh in. They can't lose more than 8% of their initial weigh-in throughout the season at their certification. At their certification, they again have to weigh in hydrated at their certification. So all the drastic measures of cutting weight, of dehydrating your body have been cut out nationally, because that's a national rule.
That's great.
That you have your alpha weigh-in, and then you have your certification weigh-in, which has hydration testing. So it's cut out a lot of that.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's great. So anything else about wrestling you want to hit before we move on to the softball? Or
we just Dane Erickson. We got him as a senior. We got Jace Jones also as a senior. Dane Erickson. He's been a state placer before. He wants to place higher, and Jace as a senior wants to qualify for state. He's never done that. So we're going to do our best as a staff to get those guys reaching their goals, and whatever there are other kids who are younger underclassmen, they have goals maybe to make it to state. We're going to try to get them there as well. But we're a JV staff coaching a lot of JV wrestlers, because there's not a whole lot of experience. We got 2 seniors, 2 juniors. The rest of them are freshmen and sophomores. And we got 30 on the team, so that's a lot of young kids.
That's like a double-edged sword there. Yeah. It's good for the future that you're getting all these guys young.
You guys will get there.
It's tough this year.
Tough right now.
But in the future,
we're getting them there.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, when's your next wrestling meet?
This weekend we had to Cameron, Missouri, and we have a dual tournament over there where the guys we'll get 5 matches, 5 duels. Duels are our team against another team. We have 14 weight classes. We'll put our 14 weight classes against another team. They'll wrestle all 14 matches right there on one mat, which is more fan friendly. I think the sport needs to get back to that, more duels versus big tournaments. Because parents don't like moving all over throughout the day. In each gym, they may have a match now, and 3 hours later, or not 3 hours, maybe it's 45 minutes to an hour later, they have a match over here. Here you have match after match after match. It's our team versus their team. And then when we're done here, we go versus another team over here, and we'll have 5 duels throughout the day. So I think duels is where it's at, and the sport needs to get back to more duels. For it to come back. And girls wrestling is also out there.
Yeah.
And girls wrestling is bringing the numbers back to the sport of wrestling, because a lot of girls are starting to compete in the sport. And I think Keisha, Kansas, is going to adopt girls wrestling as a sport, so girls will wrestle other girls for state championships.
I had the first time I wrestled a girl. It was all I think it was. My dad's like, "Don't lose." I'm like, "I'm not losing." I won, but I didn't know what to do. It made me nervous. Like I was like, should I take it easy? I don't know.
Yeah.
So like at first I did start taking it easy, and then she actually took me down. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Nope.
You gotta start wrestling now.
I gave up 2 points to her. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So, man, that's
I gave up 2 points to a girl.
I did, man. I won.
Down.
I got to go back and look at my dad's binder to see what I won by. But that's pretty crazy, though. So it's kind of cool to see that coming around.
So, all right, we got about 10 minutes left here. Why don't you talk a little bit about softball? I know we're a couple months out from the season. But you're also the head softball coach.
I am the head softball coach,
so,
and when I had my second daughter, I was like, well, I probably, I had given up wrestling, so they needed the school needed a head softball coach. I'm like, hey, I played high school and college baseball, college baseball at Mid American National University. I know a little thing about little something about ball, and so I interviewed and got the head softball job, and the softball program was not good. Like we at Shawnee Mission East at that time, there weren't a lot of girls who had been playing softball, and so it is again trying to change the culture of softball and starting having camps and clinics and get more girls playing and each year we've had more and more girls coming out and more girls with experience. The first year as a head coach, we had girls who would come out and say, is this a glove? What do I do with this glove? Do I put it on this hand? What they didn't know what a bat was.
So you're starting at the basement.
Oh, we're starting at the basement, man.
They still have the courage to come out. You believe?
Yeah.
They're like, y'all go play.
Yeah, and so I didn't cut that first year, and we had like 3 or 4 girls get concussions because they didn't know how to catch the ball was ricocheting off their palm and hitting them in the head.
Man.
They didn't turn their glove over to catch the ball, and we even had a coach who was hitting some infield fungo. A ball was thrown back, and a girl didn't catch the ball, and it went off her glove, hit the coach in the head. Coach got a concussion. So my first year was like,
it was bad.
Holy crap! What did I get myself into? But then the next year, we said, you know what, we're going to cut because these girls, we can't have these girls playing softball because they're danger to themselves
and others,
and they're dangerous to others. The head my assistant got a concussion, so we're going to have to kind of draw a line in the sand and say, here's what we expect. And we say, can you hit? Can you run? Can you catch? Can you do one of those 3 effectively? Do you have any other intangibles that can help you make this team? We started cutting and it increased competition. And each year, because we had our clinics, teaching girls how to play and doing some summer leagues with those girls, we get more and more girls who know how to play the game of softball now coming to us. So they know how to throw, know how to catch, and know what hitting is. We've got more pitching now. This year we're going into the season with 5 pitchers. My first year we went into the season with 1.5 pitchers. I mean, for JV and varsity. So pitching, if you know anything about the game of baseball or softball, if you've got pitching, you got something.
Yeah,
so
you got a chance.
You got a chance. So we got our best 2 pitchers are freshmen in our program this year. So knowing that, I mean, it's pretty exciting. If we can go, and I think the girls softball team has qualified for state once in the history of softball at Shawnee Mission East. They have not been good. But the establishment of the Jewish Community Center and their summer leagues for softball and girls have down there. When I first started, we had 1 little league team feeding us. 1 little league team feeding the Shawnee Mission East softball. Well, we have 8 now, Little League teams that are feeding us because of the proximity of fields and girls that can play on those fields that are close to Shawnee Mission.
And you got to know it's all about numbers. I mean, at that age, you want as many girls playing softball at a young age as you can because, some of them are just going to get disinterested because they don't like it. Absolutely. Some of them are not good at it, so they're going to quit. As they get older, I mean, just like anything else, I know I grew up in a very small town in southern Missouri. I mean, I want to say we had probably 50 baseball teams.
Yeah.
For kids that were in elementary school.
Correct.
So, and you obviously have 1 high school team. So it's like, if you got 50 teams, the numbers of kids that are going to quit or drop out, as you get older.
Yeah.
So with softball, same thing.
Got to have numbers. And I thought I could take girls as freshmen and develop them into good softball players and juniors and seniors. It's just not the same. In wrestling, we could take guys as freshmen and develop them into state placers as juniors and seniors. But in softball, being a skill sport, they've got to have some eye-hand coordination. They've got to have some of those skills prior to coming in as a freshman. that we can help develop on through their career. So we've got that now, and this year we're looking. I think last year we won 6 or 7 games, somewhere in there. This year we're going to try to improve on that, and if we can go 500. That'll put us our team in a position in regionals to hopefully make a shot at qualifying for state. Well,
that's great. Obviously your wrestling season, we hope it goes very well for you.
Thank you.
Softball, same thing. Me being a coach at East, I want all the sports to do well there.
Absolutely.
I'm cheering for everything. Track, baseball, softball. All the sports, wrestling, basketball, girls and boys. I want all those kids to do well. So, you got anything else, Austin?
No, I don't. That was pretty nice talking to somebody about wrestling.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know too many guys that were into that like I was. So that's very nice.
Yeah.
So no, you know what? Let's do Chiefs fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are they doing? What are they going to do? What are they going to do?
I like the fact that they got that bye, and we're at home. I feel like our defense is going to play better when we're at home. We've shown this season that we play better when we're at home. We got the home field advantage. Our crowd, our fans are second to none, I believe. And so that's going to help us. And I don't know where Sammy Watkins is at, but I know offensively, if he gets back, that's going to help us tremendously.
Yeah.
But I don't know where he's at on the healing process there.
I was thinking originally it was like he's supposed to be ready for the first playoff game, even if we played this first weekend. But I actually haven't looked at any reports lately. So
yeah,
getting Sammy Watkins back, that's a true number 2.
Yeah,
really, he could be number 1 on some teams, but that's a true number 2.
Absolutely.
And so it just takes the offense to another level.
Defense
just has to be good enough.
Yeah, me as a lifelong, or not lifelong, but I've lived in Kansas City most of my adult life. I'm a Cowboys fan, which, by the way, I'm going to throw it in here. Fire Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
They need to get blown out. They need to get blown out against Seattle this weekend. Fire Jason Garrett. Hire Chris Richard, the guy who took over the defense this year, as your head coach since Lincoln Riley signed an extension. Bring him up, make him the head coach, and we'll move on to bigger and better things once we're done with Jason Garrett. But anyway, as I was saying, as a guy who's lived in Kansas City a long time, I cannot get excited about this Chiefs playoff game until they win.
Win that first.
That's great.
First game.
You can't get excited about a playoff game?
No, they've just crushed. I've seen my friends' hopes and dreams crushed so many times. I can't do it.
Okay,
I can't be excited.
Titans Colts, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, I have not seen, just like in my adult life, I have not seen the Cowboys do well in the playoffs, so I'm not excited for that. Same thing with Kansas City. I have not seen them do well in the playoffs. Now, if they do, I will be through the roof, because I would love to see Kansas City win a Super Bowl.
All right, let's say that was a prediction. I got my prediction. Wait, so what's your prediction?
My prediction is I feel like the offense is playing well enough. I feel we're going to play well enough at home defensively with our fans to keep us in it. I'm going to put us in the Super Bowl this year.
Win the Super Bowl?
I'm going to put us in it.
Okay, don't put us in it.
I got us. Right. Okay, I have the Chiefs making the Super Bowl, but losing to the Saints.
I got Kansas City losing. That's kind of an easy
pick. I picked the 2-1s, but I really think the 2-1s are the best.
I got Kansas City losing in the divisional round.
Yeah!
I can't. Hey, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Chiefs.
I hope they do. I hope they do.
I hope they do, too.
I hope Dallas proves you wrong, too. Dallas, they give Jason Garrett a 10-year extension.
Hashtag fire Jason Garrett.
He wins the first game, they give him 10 years.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we'll see you guys next week. This has been a great show. Thanks again, Chip, for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Have a good week, guys.